This is Baltic House, right in the heart of Liverpool. There should be homes here, businesses, even a gallery. Instead, it's a deserted concrete shell. And this is the assistant mayor with the Baltic Triangle developer and his sales agent. Snapped in Hong Kong in 2015, investors there say they thought Gary Miller's handshake signalled the city's official backing of the scheme. He says it meant no such thing.
Why you came to Hong Kong? Why, if you think that Baltic House is nothing to do with the council, why, with your title, Gary Miller came to Hong Kong and take photos with the big banner at the back? Why?
Gary Miller says his photo was used without his permission to promote this development.
What we need in this area is to build on what this area is becoming good at. Places for artists, places for graphic designers, places for a whole variety of people from the media, a gallery where they could meet. And instead of that, what we got is this. Small business people have lost money on this development. Investors from all over the world have lost money on this development.
Investors like Jane, who lives in Hong Kong.
It's my money. I mean, it's my saving. My children are still under education. I mean, that's their education money.
Jane's asked us to hide her face. She sank her family's savings, nearly £55,000, into a student pod, one of 311 units in this building. And she's not the only one.
The majority buyers for these uncompleted projects are from Hong Kong and China, but we also have buyers from Middle East, California, Australia, and even in the UK.
There are at least 160 small investors just like Jane who bought into Baltic House off-plan, paying large deposits up front, some as much as 80%, for the promise of guaranteed returns. But work was slow, and that crane sat idle for so long that free climbers saw it as a challenge. They posted their exploits online. The crane company eventually came and took it away after the constructors failed to pay their bills. And when building on Baltic House ground to a halt, the developer North Point Global blamed Brexit, the failure of another deal, liquidity and inflation. They told investors most of their money was gone, and to complete this deal they'd need 11 million more, or they'd have to liquidate the company. If everything had gone North Point Global's way, they say there would have been a gallery as part of this development dedicated to street art and graffiti, complete, the promotional material said, with its own collection of Banksys. That collection may well have included Banksy's rats, bought with the pub back in 2011 for £114,000. But NPG's partners in the gallery scheme, the Sincura Group, have been criticised for removing Banksy's public work and putting it into private collections. And artists have taken their protests to the walls of Liverpool. All these stencil works are in the style of Banksy. His art can now sell for hundreds of thousands of pounds. A spokesman for the Sincura Group told me,
"We don't steal art, we help landlords preserve and protect Banksy's work. While the Baltic Triangle Gallery may be dead, we are in discussions to bring an exhibition of his work, including the pieces removed from the city's walls, back to Liverpool before the end of the year."
Jane says her advice to others looking to sink their savings into Liverpool is simple.
Don't do that. Don't do that. This is not a safe place. Don't go. Invest on somewhere else.
They've been looking for what they thought was a safe investment. They've seen the success that Liverpool undoubtedly is and think, I'm going to catch that wave. And in fact, they haven't caught the wave. They've been consumed by it.
The City Council say that in the last 5 years, more than £4 billion has been successfully invested in Liverpool. 250 current and planned projects are worth another £11 billion. But investors in Baltic House tell me they just want their money back. Matt O'Donoghue, ITV News, Liverpool.